Module 5, Tutorial A. It's going to be a quick one because we're just going to look at what Flourish offers and make a quick one out of that. So log into Flourish, select New Visualization. Yeah, go ahead and do it, Flourish. It's just taking a second. There we go. And in class in the slides I showed you, but you should test these things out, right? Like, let's look for a quiz. We're not going to make one, but let's just kind of look at one. Here's a quiz, right? And you see here how it's going to work, right? We could go like, oh, how many guess? And here we can have a little thing. I have no idea how, there's 8 Harry Potter films. That's crazy. So if we see here, this is one of these multi-sheet ones, right? We have your questions, you have an input type. You probably have to go looking in the documentation for what it's looking for, right? We got feedback here and maybe what is correct versus what is not correct. Again, you're going to have to probably look at some documentation. There's probably some on Flourish, right? And then this would be like the end result. What kind of thing do you get at the end? But we are going to instead make a draw the line like the Obama one we saw, because I think that's super fun. So let's click on New Visualization. It's just taking a little second today. And we'll go down to the Draw the Line charts. And you see we have a couple of options. Let's just do simple, right? So we see it here, and we can, like, you know, take our guess and say, I'm done. And then it'll show us our reel and the gap between our stuff. So here, right, it just takes one data and it's a line chart, right? So it has some kind of an axis, usually a time, right? I bet you could probably fudge what that is, but probably time works the best with this. So let's upload data, right? And you should find your icon download of tutorial assets, right? So we have participatory, and we have this fake bird population 1900 to 25. We'll import. Next column. So here I got a couple of options here. We have population index percent lost since 1900, right? So it's not just raw counts, because we don't actually have raw counts of that. Well, plus this is fake data anyhow, but you would never find raw data. So anyhow, right, our A for our time access, the user to guess, let's change that to C. Whoops, C. Always visible lines, we don't need anything there. Go back to preview, right? And so this is our quote here. Okay, so what can we control here? Well, we can control how much should we show a person, right? So let's say 25%. What if we even say, 5%, right? Start them real low here. Like, what percent have we lost since there? We can control the line width, dot radius, drawing dash size. So these weird little things. Our line that we draw, is it a straight step or a curve? It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to leave it at straight. You could play with those, obviously, right? If we draw one, will that actually change it for us? There we go. You can kind of see what they look like. By default, it's going to look pretty curvy. Anyhow, messages, draw the line for, so you could change that prompt, right? So you want to prompt a person. What are they doing? So again, it's like, draw a line to guess what percent of bird population has been lost cumulatively since 1900, right? Again, that's like really, really, really big there, right? Can we reset it? Right? Oh, there's a guess here, right? So if they're within 10% error, see here we can play with their results, right? So it also has data here, so it has this diff data. I wonder, there has to be some probably some documentation. We don't even need to use this, right? But we see here if they're a great result, a good result, an okay result, and a poor result would be then anything that's kind of above this, right? And so we can absolutely customize those. Is there no reset button? I want a reset button. Is there any reset button? Doesn't look like it. Here's I'm done. We could change that to check my guess, right? We can obviously change colors. We don't have to. We've been using the green, right? So I'm going to go ahead and keep my green thing going here. And legend, x-axis. Again, all these things, I don't think we have to really go through those. You would just play with them for what you want. number and date formatting if you need to change anything. Layout, we've seen before. Header, we should probably put a header in there, right? And so this is bird population loss since 1900. Maybe give it a what is going on here? Why can't I see that? Let me see if I can just drag this out. No, of course not. Do they not let us put all that much text? Well, let's see what happens when it does it. I don't know why I can't see that. Text, right, can you guess what percent of birds we've lost since 1900? You know, we have the prompt. We could have put that prompt, right? We can have the prompt there. I'm just going to refresh it just to reset it. There's no reset button. I'd really like a reset button, right? So we see this is too long here. So, yeah, we'd have to change our prompt, right, to something that fits. Here's our messages, right? Draw a line. We'll just say draw a line. Guess what bird population has been lost, right? Just try to get it so that it works. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, accessibility, right? We should obviously go in and put bird population loss bar chart showing how, you know, showing blah, 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 right? Again, we don't have to do this completely right now. And that's really it, right? I mean, there's really no real, nothing else here, right? Super simple, 10-minute do with these builders, which is really nice. But next class, we'll actually, you know, code it and control it a little more, right? We're limited in these templates, but we want full control sometimes, but sometimes these templates are absolutely great. Oh, but the last thing is we need to, well, I'll change the name to bird population, and then the same thing as normal, right? We'll want to export and publish, share and embed, publish, grab our embed code, go hit our tilde, log in, find our page, swoop down to the bottom, add, and by now if you don't know this backwards and forwards, you know, we're late in the class, content, right, we'll put it in, and of course, right, we probably want to give us a wrapping div, style equals, right, max width, we'll say 800 pixels, margin 0, auto, right? Make sure that closing div is below our embed code. Save and close. Publish. Open page. And go check it out. Of course, we're going to have to go through that scrolly. Why is that not loading? Uh-oh, there it goes. And there it is, right? There's our wonderful thing all finished.